Hey everyone, welcome back to another weekly edition of Hurricane Talk. As always, I'm Alex, and joining me once again this week is Heather.
Hi everyone! This weekend, the members of the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour traveled to Sugarloaf Mountain in Clermont, Florida. The Core and Crenshaw design masterpiece is carved out of the rolling terrain and features elevation changes of over 250 feet. The course follows the natural features of the land and highlights Core Crenshaw's signature emphasis of strategic concepts meshed with simplistic design. The weather this weekend seemed to be continuously changing and baffled all that were in attendance. One minute the sky was dark and gloomy, and the next the sun was breaking through the clouds and giving the players ideal conditions to post low scores. Through all of the spiraling weather conditions that the players faced, one thing did remain constant: the wind. Sugarloaf Mountain, which at its peak extends to 312 feet above sea level, is the seventh highest peak in the state of Florida, and thus generates large wind gusts. These gusts seemed to throw the ball every which way without warning and left players scrambling to save par. However, in the end, the players found ways to finish out their round strong and post scores that surprised all in attendance.
Coming into the Orlando Junior Classic, many of the names in the boys 16 and 19 division were new to the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour, thus giving no indication towards whom would be making a run at the title. However, once the day began, many players quickly found themselves separated from the field, leaving a small group of 7 players, all within 5 strokes of each other atop the leaderboard. Tae-Woo Kim of Howey in the Hills, Florida, led the charge with an opening round 75, featuring 1 birdie and 4 bogeys. Tae-Woo's long and accurate drive gave him the day 1 edge over Gary Buffington, Chris Tantaviram, and Jeff Waddles, who all started day 2 1 stroke behind Tae-Woo after shooting an opening round 76. One bird spot on day 1 came when Chris Tantaviram of Howey in the Hills, Florida, eagled the 18th hole, thus squeezing his way into the final grouping on Sunday.
With so many players entering day 2 within striking distance of the leader, it was unclear who would be taking home the title and joining Chandler Vilcek on the season wins list. However, by the 8th hole, it began to look as though Tae-Woo Kim was going to be able to hold on and secure himself his first victory on the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour. Tae-Woo was able to take advantage of the par 5 12th hole for the second straight day on his way to a final round 76 in a 2-day total of 151, 7 over par. As the day went on, the real battle began to emerge. Jeff Waddles of Tequesta, Florida, and Chris Tantaviram of Howey in the Hills, Florida, continued to trade off holes in an intense battle for second place. In the end, Jeff and Chris matched each other for second straight day after shooting a 78 for a combined 2-day total 154, 3 strokes back of our winner. For the boys 16 and 19 division, this weekend it wasn't as much about who would make the most birdies, but who was able to play the most consistent golf and par the most holes. In the end, Jeff Waddles and Tae-Woo Kim found themselves atop the stat sheet with 25 and 23 pars respectively. After the tournament, through the use of a translator, we were able to get a brief interview with our champion.
We're here with Tae-Woo Kim of Howey in the Hills, Florida, the boys 16 and 19 champion. And Tae-Woo, Sugarloaf Mountain posed a lot of different challenges here at this golf course. Tell us what was the most challenging part for you playing here at Sugarloaf Mountain this weekend?
이 코스가 정말 어려웠었는데 네가 그거를 어떻게克服하고 뭐가 어려웠어 가장 너한테?
바람이랑 열심히 쳤죠.
It was definitely the windy factor, and then having the course play this tough, I felt like I just had to stay at the present moment every shot.
Okay. And Tae-Woo, you had a 1-stroke lead coming into Sunday. And can you take us a little bit maybe through your game plan of how you approach the final round?
네가 코스 이제 일요일 날로 오면서 한타 차로 리딩하고 있었는데 그거에 생각해가지고 어떻게 네가 코스를 전략을 했어?
질렀죠.
어떻게? I felt like I had to be aggressive and stay on top of the game, and then keep that lead going. So on the easy holes, I felt like I really fired at the pins, and then some on tough holes, I felt like I kept my composure.
Okay, and I want to take a minute to thank all the players for coming out here at Sugarloaf Mountain, and a special thanks to Jason Kowalski and his staff here at Sugarloaf Mountain.
Thank you, Mario, for hanging in there and getting that interview for us. On the boys 13 to 15 side of the action, a newcomer on the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour made his presence known immediately with his lengthy frame and his happy-go-lucky disposition. Kenny Super-G of Mayette, France, fired an opening round 74 to hold a 1-stroke lead over North Charleston, South Carolina's Grant Wagner. Kenny and Grant took advantage of the short par 4s in the opening round and finished the day with an even par average. Coming into round 2 of the tournament, the race for the title was down to 2. After both players started off their rounds 1 over par through 3 holes, Kenny began to light up the course with his long drives, including a 359-yard drive on the par 4 14th hole, leaving himself and the players in the group ahead of him in awe. Over the next 6 holes, Kenny would convert on 4 birdie opportunities and find himself running away from the competition by turning a 1-stroke lead into 10. Kenny had a little difficulty finishing out his round and wound up matching his day 1 total and shooting a tournament best 148, 4 strokes over par.
Following right behind Kenny this weekend was C.J. Wagner of Claremont, Florida, who shot a 2-day total of 158 to edge the United Kingdom's Otto Mann with North Charleston, South Carolina's Grant Wagner by 2 strokes. C.J.'s consistent par 5 play allowed him to come from behind and jump in front of the day 1 leaders to secure a second-place finish.
In the boys 10 to 12 division, Cameron Barrett of Longwood, Florida made yet another appearance on the HJGT podium. Cameron's managed to shoot the low round each day for the younger boys and took home his first victory of the year. His excellent play on the par 3s and his long drives down the fairways helped him shoot a 169 and beat out St. Augustine, Florida's Jake Ludwig by 5 strokes. Jake's 41.7% of holes with par better tied for first with Cameron among the boys 10 to 12 division and helped him defeat Thomas Burnett of Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida by 4 strokes. Following Cameron's victory, the race for the Player of the Year is heated up as a new king now sits top of the throne.
Rounding out the tournament, Christina Miller of Bradenton, Florida won the girls 15 to 19 division. Christina blew past the field in her opening round and was the sole competitor in this past weekend's field to shoot a round below par. Christina began her round 4 under through 7 holes, including an eagle on the par 5 12th hole, before settling in and shooting an open round 70. Christina struggled a little in her second round, following Maya Schechter of Howey in the Hills, Florida, to close the gap. Maya's impressive charge would come up just short as she would finish with a 156, 3 strokes back of our champion. Maya's 79 on day 1, coupled with her 77 on day 2, found herself being the only girl in the field to post 2 consecutive days in the 70s. Rounding out the girls' 15 to 19 division was Kristen Odier of Ocala, Florida. Kristen's steady play on the back 9 secured her of a 3rd place finish in her first tournament of the year. After the tournament, we were able to squeeze in a conversation with the University of Mississippi-bound Christina Miller.
19 champion Christina Miller of Bradenton, Florida. And Christina, you opened up the weekend with a 200 par 70. Tell us what the sharpest part of your game was this weekend.
The sharpest part would probably be the approach shots. I had 16 greens the first day, and I knew it was windy. I didn't try to do anything special. I just, take a couple of clubs more and knock it down. Just keep it on line, keep it pin high.
Okay, and Christina, as you know, Sugarloaf Mountain is a very unique course here in Florida with lots of elevation change and uneven lies, a truly different course. How did you adjust to the elements this weekend here at Sugarloaf Mountain?
Well, coming in, I knew this course was going to be hilly. It's somewhere near Howey in the Hills, so the week leading up, I practiced uneven lies, and I would practice short-sighted shots and to get myself ready for the uneven lies.
Okay, thank you very much, Christina Miller of Bradenton, Florida. Thank you very much. Thanks for.
It looks as though this tournament featured a little bit of everything. Wouldn't you say so, Heather?
Yes, Alex, it certainly did. Looking ahead, the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour is continuing its 12-month road trip by making a stop in Jekyll Island, Georgia, for the opening tournament of the Johnson & Wales University Tournament Series. The JWU Series opener at Jekyll Island Golf Club will be played on the Pine Lakes course, which is the newest and longest of 4 courses. Pine Lakes is an absolute masterpiece that meanders through ocean forests and undisturbed hammocks populated by migratory birds. The original Dick Wilson Joe Lee design was completely renovated in 2002 by course architect Clyde Johnston. Johnston took what was nearly perfection and added his vision and flavor, including new lakes and bunkers, redesigned greens, and drainage improvements, making it the premier course on Jekyll Island. The registration deadline for the JWU Series opener at Jekyll Island is January 27th at midnight. However, space is limited, so make sure to sign up as soon as possible.
Well, Heather, I think that's just about going to do it for this week's episode of Hurricane Talk. So on behalf of everyone at the Hurricane Junior Golf Tour, we want to congratulate all of our past weekend's competitors, and we look forward to seeing everyone next weekend in sunny Miami.